Hello and welcome back everybody. It's Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. How would you feel if you find out your girlfriend of 8 years with 2 kids together is cheating on you with a close friend just a week before you planned on proposing to her? Would you cut your losses and break up with her? Or you try to forgive her for the sake of your children? Now let's see how this story goes.
I started dating my ex-girlfriend, we'll call her C, since sophomore year in high school. We were the textbook high school sweethearts. Fast forward through 6 years of good, bad, and everything in between, having 2 kids and dealing with a miscarriage, etc. We essentially were a married couple without the title, and we pretty much operated as such. Ironically enough, I was planning on proposing to her the week after D-Day. Now, the last year or so, me and C had been hanging out with one of my close friends, we'll call him J, and his girlfriend S, who also have 2 kids together. Me and J had known each other for years, but hadn't talked much recently, so it was cool to catch up, and S and my girlfriend C became friends quickly, as well as our children. At this point, we were like family to each other. We went on vacations together, playdates, babysat for each other, etc. Now, the past few months before D-Day, C started to show telltale signs of cheating, now that I look back, but due to the fact that she has severe bipolar disorder, which she is prescribed medication for, but she did not take it regularly, it was hard for me to fully gauge what was going on because manic depressive episodes can exhibit wild symptoms that eerily align with cheating behavior. So I was concerned, but more so for her mental well-being than for what I was about to discover in the near future.
Now here where things get hairy.
D-Day. So I get ready to leave the house to do Uber Eats. I do this part-time to pay the bills. I've been learning to trade Forex for the last few months, so I needed something that could free up time. Anyway, before I leave, C asks me for a kiss. I kiss her and the kids, and then I head out. No less than 20 minutes after I left, I check my phone and see a string of messages from C, and then I get a call from her. When I answer the phone, she's already crying. She tells me that about 2 months ago, she slept with Jay. She tells me that Jay told her I would run off and fool around with other girls and meet up with them on some dating app on my phone, none of which is true for the record. He essentially fed her a bunch of BS, and she blindly accepted it as truth. She claims she did it to get revenge at me for everything I ever did, even though, as far as infidelity goes, I did nothing. C destroyed our relationship, family, and her friendship with S, all off of hearsay. J helped mastermind it all and also destroyed our friendship, along with his relationship with S. Worst part is, I was hitting J up the 2 weeks before D-Day to chill, and he wouldn't even respond, making me look like an even bigger clown. I reacted in pure rage, said some things I probably shouldn't have in the heat of the moment, and then told her to get her stuff out of my house. She, of course, at this point is hysterical and is screaming through tears for me to not leave her, that she wants to save our family, that it only happened once, and there was no feelings involved beyond her trying to get back at me. At this point, though, I just don't know if I can believe it. Both C and J disrespected me to the absolute highest level. Not only me, but also S. They orchestrated a whole plan to make it happen, and then hid it for 2 months.
If you are enjoying the story so far, please give a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel.
She did also come to me and admit it on her own. Not that that excuses it at all, but my thinking is, in reality, I could have found out in worse ways than her direct admission. I'm so torn here. I love this girl to death, and I want nothing more than to save our family. I grew up in a split home, and I saw and heard things I shouldn't have, and I remember the depression I went through during that time. I don't want that for my kids. But I also know that I've never been betrayed like this before in my life, not only by an SO, but a friend as well. I'm completely heartbroken, and I've had hurt in the past, but I've never felt true heartbreak like I do right now. I'm doing my best to avoid contacting her, but we have 2 kids, so it makes it really hard at times. I've been learning to focus on me, but I have to literally keep my mind preoccupied 110% of the time, or I start to go into the same thought loops about this whole situation. Do I give the love of my life a second chance after something like this, for the sake of my family? I know I have zero trust for her, and I understand that if we were ever to rekindle something in the future, it will be a long time, if ever, before the pain goes away. It will not be the same as before. We will be starting from scratch. I would just like advice on if there's anything worth saving or not.
So, what signs he should be looking for that she is actually invested in making things right? If not, how does he start the healing process and begin to move on from an 8-year-old investment, also a dysfunctional family? Okay, now here is the first update.
C is out of the house now. Ironically, she's already moved into a new apartment. I'm not dumb, and I know 9 times out of 10 you don't just find a new apartment in a single day. Maybe my paranoia, but probably not, honestly. I've been avoiding contact with her beyond child-related things. I tried to contact S, but ironically, her phone was broken in the fight her and Jay had. She tried to message me on Facebook the night I found out to help her move her daughter dressed into a storage unit, but I was physically weak and couldn't even think of what to say in response at that time. Not that she did anything wrong at all. At this point, S has removed herself from Facebook, so I'm trying to figure out another way to get a hold of her to try to get extra insight. C tried to test me today, and since we're now apart, I could see it blind as day. She FaceTimed me. I normally would have ignored, but I can see my daughter on the preview, so I answer. C claims the kids wanted to talk to me, but they seemed relatively uninterested when I tried. Which, no big deal, but what came next that was so weird. What I'm talking about is her making a comment on a new vape I just got. How it was so cool and she wanted to see me take a drag off it again. This is significant only because I know from being with her for 8 years that it turns her on to see me do smoke tricks. That's just always been her. On top of that, she kept taking the camera off the kids and trying to talk to me about things that happened in her day indirectly. I kept it brief and told her I was busy before she could drag it on. Why is she doing this? This is messing with my head even more now. Also, today I was working on music and I went into my downloads folder and noticed something called Jay's app. Its date modified is 8/11. This lines up with the timeline C gave me, which made me sick to my stomach. I open it, fully prepared to find some type of cynical cheating app they were using to sneak around on me with. Turns out it's an application for some boot camp for high school dropouts. This girl had the nerve to let this idiot use my laptop to apply for this. I now certainly question the length of their relationship and the details behind it. For now, I'm going to continue with space and avoiding contact, but I'll be sitting down with C next week to lay everything on the table. Full truths, full openness, adult discussion, no kid games. At that point, I'll either have closure to know the truth, or as much as I can get of it, or know if there's any chance of redemption, which at this point has went from 25% to 5%.
Now, here is the last update.
As for right now, me and C are still in the same house, mainly for financial reasons. She couldn't afford to live on her own. I let her back in solely for the fact to ensure my kids had a solid home to live in until visitation and court and all that is settled, if it goes that route. It's hard being in the same house and not doing the same things we used to. We have since sat down and talked more about the situation, the thought process behind why she did what she did, and what feelings brought that to fruition. After talking, it was clear that the fatal flaw in our relationship was a complete lack of communication. Not just speaking at each other, but listening, understanding, and responding with intent. We both agreed if we could learn to communicate as friends, maybe someday there could be another chance. I laid out clearly what I expect if she ever wants another chance, as she was the one in the wrong for this situation. So far, she's shown growth, but I still have my doubts and my fears. I'm hesitant to invest any part of myself back into her until I can not only heal from what she's done to me, but also until I find, if ever, a newly built trust for her. Of course, a huge part of me still wants her, but I also am not dumb enough anymore to get played for a fool. I refuse to give her any more time or energy until I can feel that she's ready for it, if that ever happens. So if I was 110% sure when we first started dating, I have to now be 210% sure if a second chance ever happens. I have to be strong for my kids, and right now, more than ever, I'm just focusing on building myself into the best version of me because my kids deserve nothing less.
Well, OP, take your time to be in a proper state of mind and emotional state before making a decision. No idea on how people are strong enough to reconcile after vast mistrust, deceit, betrayal, and deception. Why live in misery and doubt when you don't have to? If you choose to do it, then commit to it. If you're going to hold it over her head and resent her, then you and the kids are much better off with a separation. Good luck to you, OP. End of the story. Before we end the video for today, let me give you all a community comment by AIN.
She orchestrated a whole plan for 2 months with Jay. She knew it was wrong, but decided to do it. She said she wants to save the family, but where was she when she was seeing him? Was she thinking about her family when she was cheating on you? Was she thinking of family when she decided to go with the orchestrated plan for the 2 months? She isn't sorry she had a relationship. She's sorry she got caught. If you give her a second chance, she would just do it again, just better at hiding her ONS. You don't just give a second chance just because you want to save your family. There are many children that have stated they suffered when their parents stayed together only to save the marriage. If you don't think that you can forgive her 100%, it will be best not to save this marriage. It will only work against your family, and your children will be the one to bear the consequences.
Please like, comment, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.